Hello and welcome to the Why Should I podcast on Backwards Compatible. Today we're going to be looking at the new Ubisoft game Watch Dogs. I'm joined by John, and for full brevity before we start, he hasn't finished the game, but this is just basically early impressions about what we're thinking about the game. So, John, what are your thoughts?
It's growing on me a bit. I think I've been a victim, as a lot of people have, of sort of overhyped marketing on Watch Dogs. However, I think it is growing on me, and I am becoming more and more impressed with what it can do, and in sense of how I'm enjoying it. Really, I think the big mistake Ubisoft made with Watch Dogs was much like Killzone, with showing off that video of E3, which kind of inflated their ambitions a bit, and was kind of for them a tough act to live up to. I don't know if you agree with me on that one. But actually, well, as I play the game, it becomes more evident that the gameplay is what's most enjoyable. And actually, we've talked about this in the past, but the gameplay is what's really, I think they've really worked on. I know the graphics may have suffered slightly for that, but not enough to detract from the quality of the game. I don't know what you feel, what you've seen recently.
Well, again, I obviously can't talk about the gameplay because I haven't actually played it, but the graphics
Visually.
looks, yeah, the graphics look not bad. They look quite nice, to be honest. I think the video you put with Gary doing on the PS4 was looked pretty good. My issue is that apparently with the PC that it has problems with Uplay, and that to me,
Yeah,
I don't
I've
see
heard
the
that.
point. If it's supposed to be this wonderful graphical, wonderful thing on the PC, but it's a bit dodgy, then what's the point of playing it? And also, I'm a little bit problem with when you play Ubisoft games is I feel that there's not much difference between Far Cry and Assassin's Creed apart from setting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of it feels like it's a kind of a best of game. In that you can see elements from Far Cry, you can see elements from Assassin's Creed, so it's kind of got the sort of a pared down Parker aspect to it, where you can leap and vault very fluidly, which does remind me of Assassin's Creed, but obviously you can't climb buildings and jump off high heights that you can in Assassin's Creed. It's got the usual radio mast type conceit, which obviously in Far Cry 3, you go up a radio mast and activate it, and it opens up some of the environment around you. That's exactly what happens in Watch Dogs as well. Obviously, the way you get up the mast and the way you unlock it is kind of tied to the gameplay style. So you have to use your phone to work out how to get up to the mast. So you can hack on things like lifts and open gates from afar. I tell you what, one thing it does remind me of, actually, other things it's borrowed from, is, I don't know if you've played it as a game on the iPads, you probably haven't, called Republique, which was a Kickstarter, I think, which I bought. And in that game, you control all the cameras around the rooms that you visit, and you can see things from different points of view from the video cameras. It's exactly like that in Watch Dogs. It reminded me so much of the game Republic. And you can kind of jump from camera to camera until you're really far out of the way, and that's quite a good game mechanic, which I'm sure has been used in other games. But yeah, it is a best of, and if you're into Ubisoft games, then I think that's not a problem. If you've played lots and you're getting a little bit, more saturated by them, that might be a problem. I don't know how many you've played. Well,
Yeah, I've still got Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed to finish, as well as Blood Dragon.
yeah, I'm still playing Splinter Cell.
And actually Far Cry 3. I haven't even finished any of them, so I seem to get bogged down in them because the story isn't good enough. It's the play that that captures me with those games.
So do you get caught up in like all the side missions and the co-op
Hunting
quests and
and
things?
killing
Yeah.
and yeah. So I know it'd just be one of the games that I'll just end up just pondering around in the environment, and to be honest, the modern world doesn't really interest me that much.
The modern, what you mean in terms of the subject matter of Watch Dogs?
Yeah, just in terms of a cityscape doesn't really interest me. I much prefer the older style with Assassin's Creed, which is why I loved Assassin's Creed 2 and Revelations and stuff. Not so keen on Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
See, I'm not a big fan of historical games as such, although I did like Red Dead Redemption. But I prefer them.
That's recent history.
Well, yeah, it's like
I
it
like
was about 1911, wasn't it? It was very good, but I'm all for the modern and the futuristic one. And I was a big Deus Ex fan. I don't know if you played Deus Ex: Human Revolution.
yes, yep.
Yeah, I mean it's a great game, and there are aspects of that as well. I think that Watch Dogs feels in terms of how you can approach a certain mission. There's definitely onus on stealth, and you're not a big fan of stealth games, are you? Such.
Not really.
And the first couple of hours I played it, because as every game is now tutorial based, I had to go up and sort of hack people. I kept the controls for running are quite sort of they're quite sensitive. I kept dashing into market squares and scenes and scaring off the criminals that I was meant to be hacking before I could get to them because I just wasn't slow enough in there. But single player aside, I've actually played last night and a couple of hours the night before some of the actual online missions or online multiplayer, and they are brilliant. And I think that's where the popularity of the game will move over to. I think because the single player is, I haven't played it all the way through, so I can't comment. But I was playing when you're in the game, when you're playing the single player mission, you get hacked by other people online, and it's one-on-one. So a guy is trying to hack your data that you have. And I think if they hack you successfully, they take some XP off you, they take some money off you and items that you have. And it's quite tense. My heart was beating. I mean, there was a scene where I was a single-player story in a graveyard, like they do in America, in most American films, lamenting over a gravestone. And I was about to press a button to carry the mission. I get this hack come up. And someone's in the area around me is trying to hack me. Now, you can't see them as, they're obviously playing as Aiden Pierce, but you see them as, much like the Assassin's Creed online, you can't see them, you see them as an NPC. And they see you as a random character. It's not Aiden Pierce each time. I've seen this from both points of view. And the desperation, and this, you see this radius coloured on the map where he could be or she could be. And you've got to go around with your phone, hacking each person until you can identify the person who's attacking you. And his data, you can see your data being slowly transferred. The old classic thriller film percentage bar going across the screen.
Yep.
And as that bar goes up, the radius of the circle around you starts to contract, giving you more defined area where he or she could be. And when you do find them, you can then take them out and shoot them. Now, I played it as a victim at one point, and I played it as the hacker at another point. And I got into a car and you can press the circle to hide in the car. You lie down below the level of the car. And this guy was running around shooting everyone. He thought if he shot everyone, he'd get me eventually. Literally, he was standing right next to my window. Rather than using his phone to hack everyone and work out who I was, he thought, I'll just kill everyone in this radius and eventually I'll kill the guy. And he lost. I hacked him completely because he didn't find me because I was hiding in the car. And you can either go up onto the roof or you can hide in the car or you can stand near a person looking just like an NPC, which is what happened in the Assassin's Creed multiplayer. So I think the online aspect will become more and more popular.
Do you think that the online will be enough to carry?
Well, I also played some 8-on-8, or in fact, it got even more than that. I didn't keep track of how many players were in the map. Multiplayer, which was very much like the Grand Theft Auto 5 online games, but better.
Okay.
Because the environments weren't popping in and out like they were in the online version of Grand Theft Auto. Everything was there's very little pop in from the environment around you. It's very quick and very crisp. The matchmaking is quite quick as well, and it's quite hectic and fun. The environments are more interesting and they're bigger than the Grand Theft Auto multiplayer environments that you're using, because obviously the system can handle more polygons being drawn within the map. And you can jump into cars, and the missions I played were you pick up a file. As you held that file, you uploaded it. But if an opposition team member comes near you, he can start sucking that back reversing that process onto his side. So it's basically capture the flag, but you're holding a bomb that could go off, if that makes sense. But it's not really a bomb; it's a data explosion. And it was hilarious. I mean, I'll try and post some footage. Maybe we'll have it within this podcast of some online literally you'll get this card, this file is up to like 99%, and one person drops it. It doesn't go back to zero. It keeps staying there. If you pick it up, it carries on going. So there's a manic fight at the end to try and catch it. And someone who may have just been sitting around doing nothing for the whole game could pick it up at the end and win. So it's very, very tense, exciting, and hilarious because the party system works really well on the PS4.
So it looks like you are enjoying it then.
I am, yeah. No, and that was, I was playing with Neon Skull and a couple of others last night, and they've been doing it for a long time. They've leveled up to max already, which seems strange in such a short time. But
Yeah, it's only been a week.
yeah, but I guess they may if you get the season pass or DLC, maybe that'll change.
Yeah.
But they knew it was nice to be with people who knew what was going on and could show me the ropes, but also we could have a laugh. I mean, I was chasing people down in fire engines and things like that, and the tactics you can employ when you get an idiot playing who doesn't understand the game. Because if you just stand next to someone and they can't get to you or kill you, you can take the file off them straight away. So the best trick is to run around and get away from people. But it's kind of, again, to see the emerging gameplay like that in a multiplayer is quite interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, just obviously you're playing it on the PS4.
Yeah.
I wonder what it's like when you downgrade to like the PS3 and stuff.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if the maps are smaller or they have less players. I mean, we need to look into that really.
So obviously you were comparing it to Grand Theft Auto before.
Yeah.
But obviously that's a completely different system.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, not in a bad way, but just wondering about the comparison between the two versions, which would be most alike, really.
I wonder if it's just a matter of just a bit like Titanfall, where the only hit's just been on textures in the map.
Could be.
I mean, I definitely think particular processing and things would take a hit as well, because I mean, you could set in the States they have the exhaust drains on the roads that steam comes out of. You can blow these pipes up and you get these massive billowing clouds of steam, which if you drive through in a car affects your vision and slows your car down. So it's another little sort of tactic. You can hack those with your phone as you're driving, and they burst in front of people. But the smoke, I remember Neon Skulls mentioned, the smoke comes out, or steam, looks amazing. Photorealistic coming out. I wonder if that will take a hit on the PS3 as well.
Yeah, well, you don't tend to get that level of detail, do you, really?
No. But anyway, I think I think if people are playing it or aren't playing it, they should look at Twitch and see what the gameplay is like and see what people are doing online, because it's great fun.
What do you actually think about the story?
To be honest, I think Aiden Pearce is a bit of a dick, which I've said before about another character. I don't have any sympathy for him because I don't want to give too much away in the story, but he has someone dear to him taken from him due to his own actions, and so he got this guilt. I mean, that's in the opening sequence. It's not a spoiler, and the whole story is about him trying to track down the people that caused this and him coming to terms with his own guilt. For a story that's about lack of personal freedom in terms of data, about surveillance, about the nanny state, there's very little commentary on that. There's very little sort of. It's not a political game in any such. I think they've missed it. Okay, I've only played about 3 or 4 hours of the single player, but it's about a third of it, I think, from what I hear. They've missed a trick so far. I'm not sure if it pans out like that later on, in showing the gamer. This is a problem, not a fun thing. If that makes sense. This is an issue we need to really deal with before it gets out of hand.
Yeah, because it did seem like from the early stuff that it was kind of a more of a commentary on the modern world. It doesn't, but from what you're saying, it doesn't sound like it.
Not really. No, I mean, I think that's just a thinly veiled veneer that's an excuse to make a whiz-bang game on the next generation. Really, I think maybe it's Ubisoft's first test of, maybe it's a sort of a testing ground for the new Assassin's Creed game, which will just be a next gen game.
And you obviously have been also playing on the iPad as well. You were doing that with Gary.
Yeah, and
can you play when you're playing on the iPad? Can you only play on the system you bought the game on? If that makes sense. So can you only play against people on the PS4?
Well, I don't know actually, because when you go into the app, it's completely empty of friends. It doesn't automatically find your PSN friends. You have to authorize your Sony account with it, and you have to do that every time you go into it, I think. and then you have to manually add your PSN buddies who own the game to a contact list within the app. When you do that, when they start playing, whether it's single player or online, and you've got the app open, their icons will appear on the map of Chicago, wherever they are roaming around. It gives you little subheadings like available, which means they're not in a mission or anything like that, and you can go in and challenge them. And I think you can set it in game on the PS3 and 4, like a don't bother me setting. So if people are trying to hack you, it doesn't let you.
So you can just play like literally be online but switch it offline.
In the main game, you mean, or on the iPad? Yeah, you can. You can be left alone.
Yeah, because you said obviously about people joining your game, but if you don't want people to join your game, you can keep them out.
Yeah, yes. I mean, that's what they needed to add. They needed to add to Need for Speed, I think, because that's what really annoyed me about that game was idiots that I would end up knocking into when I was trying to chase down a car on a mission. The rivals, Need for Speed rivals. Yeah. You couldn't turn off the online unless you physically unplugged your internet cable.
But that was kind of the idea of that game, was to be online all the time.
Yeah, but I quite like the missions in that and working my way around, and that's fine. And I don't mind a lot of people roaming around, but it's when you get idiots coming in and knocking into you, and it's like people do that on the internet will do that, won't they? You'll get griefers. But yeah, no, I mean the Watch Dogs thing.
I am the griefer in that game because I seem to do very well whenever I play it. I don't play it a lot, but every time I go onto it, I always seem to be able to knock people out of the way. I'm quite good as the police.
I need to play more of that actually because I'm still sitting there on my PS4.
It's a really good game actually, but it's not as good as Most Wanted, but it's a pretty good game.
The other thing I noticed about Watch Dogs, which I thought was quite ironic, is there seems to be a very, very little in terms of sharing socially. You know how you can. In some games, you can post your status to Twitter and Facebook. I think they missed a trick there, really, with being able to sort of spread your word to the big world. I mean, this could be later in the game. One of my friends on Twitter, they had some very strange messages all on a stream, and it sounded like sort of coded speak of spies. And I wonder if, because he was broadcasting his phone number and I'll meet you here and don't tell anyone about it. It looked so weird. He never responded to my answer. Well, I said, no, you're broadcasting this on Twitter to everyone, mate. You should stop doing this. And I wonder if perhaps later on in the game you can accidentally post messages on your phone to Twitter. I don't know.
Good work.
Yeah, I don't know. But it just seems strange that they've missed a trick there with the whole sort of blending it with the real world and mixing social networks. I don't know.
Especially as you have got the tablet support and stuff like that, it would work quite well. But I suppose obviously then it's the choice of who you integrate with and working out deals whether it's going to be Facebook or Twitter.
That's true, and actually I think Grand Theft Auto did a better job of the whole parody of social networks and so on in game.
Yeah, it can get a little bit annoying though sometimes to keep on seeing those things popping up.
Well, they're a bit sort of zeitgeisty, aren't they? Really.
Yes. Yeah. And just basically because they're very, but also they're just plugging the game.
Yeah.
So they're a bit odd like that. So basically speaking, though, you would say that it's worth looking at.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. I'd recommend it on PS4.
Did you say worth looking at or worth picking up?
I would say if you're on the fence, maybe hang on for a bit and wait till the price comes down. But you also might then miss that initial burst of online playing where everyone's still fresh and online and playing it. If you're keen on enjoying the online aspects, get it now. You can probably get it cheaper, physical copy already, I imagine. I know Steam keys and on GOG and places like that are cheaper already. But if you're not so bothered about the online and you want to play a single player, I'd hold back and wait till it's either a special reduction on PS Plus for a week or it comes down in price.
Okay. Well, I'll say thank you very much there, and that was basically our little why should I about Watch Dogs. Obviously we will be bringing you a bit more content and probably a review as time goes on. Thank you, John.
Cheers.
Take care.